Everyone is adding AI to their business right now, and I keep seeing the same pattern. Businesses that went through the whole rollout, got the tools, trained the team, and spent the money, but the output is the same or even worse than before. That's what this video is about. The common belief that adding AI to your operations automatically makes things more efficient. Buy the tools, plug them into your existing workflow, and watch the hours drop. That's what most consultants are selling and what most business owners are buying. The problem is that framing gets it completely backwards. Adding AI to an existing workflow is almost never the move, and watching businesses do it over and over is burning budget, creating more work for their team, and having them walk away confused about why it didn't work, right? That's what I keep running into. So today I want to walk through what actually separates a business that runs leaner with AI from one that's just more complicated, right? There's a real distinction here that most people just aren't making. All right, what's AI first actually mean? Because there's a phrase that gets thrown a lot around right now, AI first, and almost nobody means the same thing when they say it. The version most companies are operating on is giving everyone access to a tool and see what happens. Copilot licenses, ChatGPT accounts, maybe a workflow automation platform. The team is technically using AI and the process is technically AI assisted, but the underlying structure of how work gets done, it's the same as before. So the actual definition of AI first, the one that actually changes how a business operates, is different. It would be this, that AI handles everything it can and people will only touch what actually requires a person, not AI helps people work faster. It's AI works, people step in when there's actual value to be added, a human connection to be made, customer service to be done, money to be made. Now, it seems simple, but it's a completely different design philosophy. One starts with people in the center and wraps AI around them, and the other starts with the outcome and works backwards to figure out where a human is even necessary, right? The tell is simple. If you went dark for a week and your workflow stopped, you don't have an AI first process. You have a process that runs on humans and uses AI as a tool. So most automation isn't even what people think, right? There's a spectrum worth understanding here because a lot of what gets called automation is really just scripting. Scripting is deterministic. If A happens, do B. Always. A Zapier workflow that copies a form submission into a spreadsheet, that's scripting. It's fast, but there's no intelligence in it. Nothing adapts and it breaks the second anything falls outside the expected input. Automation is a step up. Rules-based branching. If A, do B. Unless C, then D. That's maybe a CRM sequence that changes based on whether someone opened an email or didn't. It's better, but it's still rigid. It still breaks on edge cases, still needs a person when something unexpected happens. Now, agentic is the real version. You define a goal. The system figures out how to get there, and it can handle situations it hasn't seen before. You use tools dynamically, course correct. If a lead comes in, the agent can decide how to qualify based on context. Pick the right outreach, handle the back and forth, log everything in the CRM, book a call without a playbook written for every single possible scenario. So the difference, scripting, you define every step. Automation, you define the rules. Agentic, you define the outcome. Most businesses think they're building automation. They're building scripting with extra steps. So what goes wrong? What are the common failures, right? The failure modes that we're seeing here are specific. I see the same ones repeatedly. The first one is kind of what I'd call the approval machine, where the agent does one thing and then it waits for a human to approve it before doing the next thing. Waits for approval again and again. There's technically an AI in the loop, but the human is still embedded at every meaningful decision point, right? That's not an agent working by itself. That's kind of more of a fancy interface. The workflow still runs at person speeds because someone has to come check in on it. The second type is like the drafter that never sends. AI prepares everything, but then the humans have to execute everything. Every email drafted, but never sent autonomously. Every recommendation made, but never acted on. The human is still the last step on everything. And the result is that you've added AI work before every human task without removing any of the human tasks, which is more work and not less a lot of the time. The third is building complexity for its own sake, right? A 15-node workflow that does something a single API call could handle might look impressive in a diagram, but if it breaks constantly, it requires maintenance, and anyone who actually understands system looks at it and immediately sees it for what it is, that it's built around tools and not the outcome, well, then you're kind of screwed. The fourth type I see a lot is kind of the summary trap, which is where AI reads, summarizes, and then the human has to go back and read the summary and makes every decision, right? Nothing changed except now there's an AI step before the human step once again, right? So the human's still owning 100% of the judgment. And just notice the common thread in all of these is the same. The human is still being the agent in a lot of the situations. Now, maybe they just have AI as their assistant, right? But anyways, so when systems actually work the best, the design is inverted. You start with the outcome and you map every step that it currently takes to get and reach it, and then you assign ownership. Can we do it all with AI? Can we do it AI with one human step? Or is this something that we need to leave to human only? If there's human review, then you need to be ruthless about collapsing the human review category so that it's as small as possible. The question isn't, can AI help with this? It's, what breaks if we remove the human from this step? If the answer is nothing obvious, the human gets removed. The places where a person belongs are specific. Relationship ownership, where someone has to be accountable. Novel problems that the system hasn't encountered before. Legal or ethical sign-offs that maybe defining taste as well, but not executing on it, right? You can give it a brand guide and then it can execute on repeat. And then obviously high stakes moments where human presence actually kind of will change the outcome of everything else, like a sales call, things like that, right? So in a lead follow-up example, the AI agent will handle instant response, qualification, objection handling, and booking an appointment. So now we just have to show up for the meeting, right? That's the job. Relationship and judgment, not inbox management for humans, right? That way our salesman can focus on the relationship, not inbox management. Maybe in content production, the agent might handle clipping, editing, captioning, scoring, and scheduling, where the human just shows up on camera and picks from the top options, reads a script, or says something off the top of their mind, and the AI does everything else for. I don't want you to think this means firing people, okay? The creative role, it stays. Everything downstream, now it gets handled by the AI, but the job doesn't go away, it just shifts from doing work to defining the goal and managing the expectations of the AI agent. All right, so the biggest mistake people make is when they try to implement this stuff, they're going way too wide and they're trying to redesign the whole business at once, which almost always stalls. The move is to pick one process, something repetitive, high volume, lower stakes, per instance, maybe lead follow-up, content distribution, tier 1 support, report generation, something that runs a lot, ideally every day. Map it completely, every step, every handoff, every decision point, and don't skip the obvious ones because those are usually the easiest to automate. Assign ownership per step, full AI, AI with human review, human only. Push hard on the human only category and narrow it down. Every item in that column should have a clear justification for why it's there. Then build toward the outcome, not toward the tool. The question is never, we have this platform, what can we build? The question is, a lead comes in, what does the ideal outcome look like, and who or what owns each step? And then ship something that runs without you, even at 80%. An imperfect system that operates autonomously is going to beat a perfect manual process that's not getting done consistently. The iteration will happen from actually running the system, not from planning more and trying to fix more things, right? The metric that actually matters is how many hours did we save people or how much faster did we go? It's not about how much AI we adopted, right? If the same number of people are doing the same amount of work, but now they have chatbots open, then nothing really changed. So the businesses that are going to run differently over the next few years, they aren't the one with the most AI licenses. They're the ones that actually design how work gets done, where the default assumption is that AI handles it and people, we're the exception, right? We have to justify, we have to verify. That's a different design philosophy entirely than most companies are operating on right now. And the gap between those two is where most of the implementation failures are currently sitting. So if any of this resonated with you and it seems like something that you want to implement in your business, reach out to me below. I'd love to help you out. Anyways, this has been Nolan Grout. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Do all the YouTube stuff. Comment what you're trying to automate in your business right now. What do you want AI agents to be able to handle fully for you? Let me know. I'm genuinely curious. Subscribe, like, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.